What are the complex scoring rules for baseball sacrifice hits? Imagine a play where a batter intentionally bunts or hits a fly ball to help his team, but the rules for scoring that play can be pretty detailed. That's what we're exploring today. Sacrifice hits include sacrifice bunts and sacrifice flies, each with specific rules that affect how players' stats are recorded. A sacrifice bunt happens when a batter deliberately bunts the ball with the goal of moving runners to better positions. The key is that the batter is trying to advance runners, not get a hit. This play must happen with fewer than 2 outs. If there are 2 outs, it's not scored as a sacrifice. When the batter bunts and is thrown out at first base, or would have been out if no error occurred, it counts as a sacrifice bunt. The batter does not get charged with an official at-bat, so their batting average stays the same. If the bunt results in the batter reaching base because of an error, it still counts as a sacrifice bunt. But if the batter was trying for a hit instead of a sacrifice, then it's scored as a hit and an at-bat. The official scorer has some discretion here, especially if the batter's intent isn't clear. Sacrifice flies are scored when a batter hits a fly ball that is caught, and a runner scores after tagging up from third base. Like sacrifice bunts, the batter is not charged with an at-bat, so their batting average isn't affected. For it to count as a sacrifice fly, the fly ball must result in a run scoring. If the fly is caught but no run scores, it's not a sacrifice fly. If a fielder makes an error on the catch and a run scores, the batter can still get credit for a sacrifice fly if fewer than 2 outs were recorded and the run would have scored without the error. The batter gets credited with an RBI or run batted in on a sacrifice fly. There are some additional rules to keep in mind. Sacrifice hits only count when there are fewer than 2 outs. If there are 2 outs, advancing runners by bunt or fly ball isn't scored as a sacrifice. Sacrifice hits do not count as official at-bats, so they don't lower a player's batting average. When scoring, if an error happens during the sacrifice attempt, the scorer must decide what would have happened without the error. The difference between a sacrifice and a hit attempt can sometimes be subtle and depends on the scorer's judgment, especially if the batter's intent isn't clear. Looking at baseball history, sacrifice hits have been tracked separately from other batting stats to show how players help their teams by advancing runners. Sacrifice flies have been officially recorded since the mid-20th century, allowing us to see how players perform in clutch situations. These rules help ensure players who focus on helping their team by sacrificing their own chance for a hit are properly credited, without hurting their batting averages. So, the scoring rules for sacrifice hits are detailed but designed to fairly reflect a player's contribution to the team's success.